Jesus often went to parties. He was invited by Pharisees, the most religious of the religious. He was invited by tax collectors, the most hated of the hated. He was invited by non-believers, believers, to come to their parties. Jesus had to have been a fun and interesting person to have around because everyone wanted him at their party. Luke 7:34 says that Jesus had a reputation for going to parties and having lots of friends. He just lived a passionate way. It says that the Son of Man came eating and drinking, and you say, here's a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. Lots of friends, lots of parties. He lived passionately. He was also passionate in how he worshiped the Father. At one point, we see Jesus' righteous anger come out. Listen to what happened in John 2:13-16. When it was almost time for the Jewish Passover, Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple courts, he found men selling cattle, sheep, and doves, and others sitting at tables exchanging money. So he made a whip out of cords and drove them all from the temple area, both sheep and cattle. He scattered the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. To those who sold doves in the market, he said, "Get these out of here! How dare you turn my Father's house into a market?" Catch that. Did you catch the part where Jesus went and made a whip? This isn't passion out of control. This is a carefully planned assault. Is this the Jesus you know? Is this the Jesus you read about in the Scriptures? Do you see this passionate man putting together his own weapon so he could smack around all the people who had turned God's church into a shopping mall? Who had told the people who were sitting in the court of the Gentiles, this is where this is occurring, all the entire world is to come to the court of the Gentiles and worship God, and instead they said, let's turn it into a mall. We don't want any Gentiles here. In the next line, it says that he drove all from the temple area. He was scaring people. Verse 17 says, his disciples remembered that it was written, "Zeal for your house will consume me." The worship of God, respect to the temple, allowing people to come in freedom before God without any hindrance was a passion for Jesus. The word zeal means a fierceness, a jealousy, excitement, fervor. That's the kind of Jesus we see. It's important to realize that passion is right to have. It's in fact a gift from God. We are like Christ when we have passion. We're created with passions. Everybody has different ones, and that's important. Every passion has the ability to drive our lives into the things of God and further His kingdom and give us great joy. Or it has the potential to drive us mad, drive us away from godly things, do damage to others, and steal our joy. I want to show you a video. Could you get the lights?
I'm Ron Pitts, and you're about to see some of the most astounding moments of destruction ever caught on camera. This is Destroyed in Seconds.
They make a jet for selling. It's a chemical, really?
In the town of Henderson, Nevada, a chemical fire has ignited at the rocket fuel manufacturing plant Pepcon.
Oh my God. I hope nobody's hurt.
With every second that passes, the fire grows.
Oh, nobody heard of that, Russ.
What they don't know is that the inferno now threatens a storage area where 6 million pounds of the rocket fuel is held. If the chemicals exceed 716 degrees Fahrenheit, the entire area will combust. Then, the unforgettable.
Boy, that destroyed everything. My God.
As the explosion erupts, a powerful shockwave careens across the landscape, and a car traveling along an adjacent highway is caught in the blast. Multicolored smoke indicates that volatile chemicals continue to burn. leaving one to question. Did the blast detonate all of the rocket fuel inside the plant?
Loud! They're loud!
The explosion is massive. Its shockwave completely decimates this building. The blast is so strong, it registers an earthquake measuring 3.5 on the Richter scale, 600 miles away.
You sure that's all that's stored in that damn area?
2 people were killed in the massive explosions. What you are looking at is $100 million worth of destruction. These skeletal remains used to be a chemical manufacturing plant that produced rocket fuel for the space shuttle.
Now, why do I show you that? Because passion, our driving force of our life, is rocket fuel. If it's channeled well and it's properly used and it's understood and it's governed, it can be used to fly the space shuttle. It can be used to go faster than the speed of sound. But out of control, it can do amazing damage. Passions like that, when given over to God, used under His control, the results can be amazing. When used for ourselves, outside the governances of God, it can be amazingly destructive and wreak a path of destruction in its wake. See, our competitive nature, which I have, it can either drive us to work harder and train others better, to enjoy sports and enjoy things, or it can cause us to run over people, do anything to win, cheat, even harm others. Our passion for excellence can either drive us to just want to do the best for God's glory, to practice hard, to encourage others to greatness, or it can turn into perfectionism and anxiety and a critical heart that just judges everyone else by our impossible standards. If we have a passion for trying new things and a love of risk and adrenaline, it can help us be brave. It can help us develop new ideas for God's glory, challenge everybody who's in a rut to get out of their rut. It can write new songs, start ministries that change people's lives. Or out of control, that same love for innovation and adrenaline can create an inability to be content even when things are okay. You can start to worship at the altar of novelty, gamble all your money away so you can feel the rush, spend all your money on the latest gadget or drug so you get the fix of that feeling. For some, you have a passion for peacemaking, and you can just find the joy in the moment. You can teach others to be content. You can smooth out relationships. You're brave enough to enter the battle so that peace can be won. Or you can turn into a person who is rigid and inflexible, who just avoids everyone else because you'd rather pretend to have peace than actually go and make it. See, passion is the jet fuel of your life, and it can be used for good or it can be used for evil. Next person in our list of names in the Hall of Faith of Hebrews 11 is David. His story is found in 1 and 2 Samuel and the beginning of 1 Kings. It's an easy read. Boy, if you're having struggle reading your Bible, you don't read your Bible enough, start there. Great stories, easy to read. Like, I did it in like 3 nights where you just love it because the story keeps flowing. And one thing you learn is that David was a key figure, probably the key figure after Moses in the Old Testament. We just finished talking a lot about the judges. Remember that in the last few weeks? All the problems they had with a divided group of tribes who were just being pounded into submission by the other nations. Under David, all these tribes came together. He conquered all the enemies around. He ushered in this new era of peace. So he's not only known as a warrior, but he's also known as a man of God.